we have a former U.S. ambassador to South Korea and also a former national security advisor to the first George Bush in office. Gregg joins us from our New York studios. Donald, we have a historic meeting taking place in the north. So Kim Jong-Un has been made a 4-star general, and with this ruling Workers' Party being called, does it seem that it's pretty obvious he is the successor to Kim Jong-il?
I think it's the first step forward in what will be a step-by-step process. North Korea is a Confucian society, and I think it would be almost impossible to give Kim Jong-un full power since he is untested. But making him a 4-star general is a very quick promotion procedure, even faster than George Custer. So this clearly will bring him on stage, and we'll soon see what he looks like. All we really know about him is that he was educated in part in Switzerland, that he was a basketball supporter of Michael Jordan. And I take that as an interesting part of his background because it means he knows a lot more about the outside world than either his grandfather or his father. But I think there's going to be a process over the next several years as he is given different jobs to see how he performs, so that there's a preparation period for his taking over from his father, just as there was when Kim Jong-il replaced Kim Il-sung after his death in 1994.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un in his late 20s. So if you say he's being groomed to take over for Kim Jong-il, during that process and during that time, do you think there might be some other candidates that might emerge? For instance, we have Kim Jong-il's sister also being given a 4-star general status as well, and her husband, called Jang Song-taek, is also considered in the running as well to be the next leader of North Korea.
Well, it's hard to really read those family tea leaves. I would call them perhaps contingency plans. But there have been some other very interesting developments in the North. Former President Carter was there a month ago, and just last week a team of 5 or 6 American economic specialists were in North Korea. And I was given access to President Carter's trip notes and spoke yesterday to one of these team members, and what they were told was quite consistent, and that is that North Korea avers that they are coming to the end of their military first period, that they have equipped themselves with a sufficient deterrent so that they can now switch to a program of additional economic development, which they desperately need. They also point out the fact that their American team, as they call it, Kang Sok-ju and Kim Gae-gwan, their 2 leading American experts, have both been promoted to higher ranks. Kang Sok-ju is now a vice premier. And they say that what this means is that they want very much to have talks with the United States with everything on the table and no holds barred. So I take that as a encouraging sign.
Okay, so with the possibility of Kim Jong-il stepping down as North Korea's dear leader, do you see more engagement in the future then? What does this mean for the North going forward? Will they be less antagonistic internationally?
Well, I think they would like to do that, but it's a very difficult juncture at this point because of the question of the sinking of the South Korean frigate on the 26th of March, the Cheonan. And North Korea has been accused of doing that by South Korea and the United States. They denied doing it. And so the question is, how do we get around that issue to allow dialogue to move forward? And until some solution to that is reached, I think it's going to be difficult to really take full advantage of what may be a sort of a change of focus in North Korea.
Okay, Donald, I'm running out of time here. Let me just quickly bring up the Cheonan sinking back in March. We had South Korea and also the U.S. Officials basically finding evidence that the ship was sank by torpedo from a North Korean mini-submarine. You dispute those findings, though. That's very interesting, considering it seems to be internationally accepted.
Well, I'm in the minority. I was struck by the Russian report, which was made unofficially and is never going to be released officially, which raised the question that the sinking might have been accidental, could well have been caused by a mine. And the fact that the Russians are not going to release their report, I think shows their consideration of both Lee Myung-bak, the president of South Korea, and President Obama, because for the Russians to come out with a report that runs directly counter to the South Korean investigation would cause a good deal of diplomatic difficulty.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time and your insights. It was great talking to you. That's a former U.S. ambassador to South Korea and also a former national security advisor to the first George Bush in office, Donald Gregg there.